Hello, dear students. Hope you are doing well. Smile and be cheerful. Remember the motto of life to shine in use and not to rust unburnished. So, today's topic is the heart. We will be studying the anatomy of heart, and I have planned to take the lecture in two parts. So, let's start. This is the heart. This is the heart, and what you can see in the slide, you already know this. Heart has four chambers: the right atrium, the right ventricle, the left ventricle, and the left atrium. Left atrium is not visible on the anterior aspect. And one thing more, the right atrium also have one projection like ear-like projection, and that is known as the auricle of the right atrium. So the same thing, this is the heart we have taken out from the cadaver. And what are the various structures? This is right ventricle, right atrium, and right auricle. Left ventricle. The major vessels, what we can see? The arch of aorta, the ascending aorta, and this is the arch of aorta. Pulmonary artery, superior vena cava. Here also we can see the same. Pulmonary trunk, the ascending aorta, and this covering is the pericardium, that is the covering of the heart. And just below to that, if we remove the pericardium, we can also have a look. This is the superior vena cava. Now this is the posterior view. We didn't see the left atrium on the anterior aspect, so here is the left atrium, and left atrium is also showing four pulmonary veins. You can see the openings of four pulmonary veins, to right, to left. The same thing, the four pulmonary veins, right and left. This is the posterior view of the heart. Now the heart anatomy. This heart is a complex muscular pump that maintains blood pressure and flow through the lungs to the rest of the body. So how many times your heart pumps? The heart pumps about 100,000 times and moves about 7,200 liters of blood every day. So heart is a busy organ. Let's study the general features of heart. It is a cone-shaped muscle. It has four chambers, two atria, and there are two ventricles. The ventricles, they form the double pump. How? We'll study later. There are two types of circulations. One is the systemic circulation, another is the pulmonary circulation. Systemic circulation means that the blood vessels that transfer blood to and from all the body tissues. While pulmonary circulation means when there is involvement of the lungs, that is the blood vessels carry blood to and from the lungs. What's the position of heart in thorax? It lies in the mediastinum, and it is behind the sternum, and it is more towards the left side and lies over diaphragm, that muscular fibrous organ, that is the diaphragm. You can see over here in the slide. This is the sternum, and heart lies behind the sternum and the ribs, and it is more towards the left side. Let's study about the coverings of the heart. Coverings of the heart, that is known as the pericardium. And it is a three-layered structure. The first is the fibrous pericardium, then is the serous pericardium, fibrous and serous. These are the two main layers. This serous pericardium is further subdivided into, or it has two more layers, parietal layer and the visceral layer. Parietal layer of serous pericardium and the visceral layer of serous pericardium. Visceral layer is also known as epicardium. It is present where? On the heart, and it also forms a part of its wall. And between the two layers is the pericardial cavity. Let's see now. We have taken a section from the heart. Okay. What is the muscle of heart known as? This is known as myocardium. So let's revise what are the various layers of the heart we just studied. The first is the fibrous pericardium. In fact, it is formed by the dense connective tissue. Fibrous, this is for the protection. Dense connective tissue is there in the fibrous pericardium. Below the fibrous pericardium is the parietal layer. First of all, the serous pericardium. And serous pericardium has which layer? The parietal layer. Below the parietal layer is the epicardium, also known as the visceral layer of serous pericardium. In between the two layers, parietal as well as the visceral layer, is the pericardial cavity. Hope this is clear to you. So, the fibrous pericardium and the serous pericardium, which has two further layers, parietal and epicardium or visceral layer. And below that is the myocardium, the muscle of the heart, is the endocardium, and here we have the heart chamber. The fibrous pericardium. This is the most superficial layer of the pericardium you have just seen in the slide, and it has loose areolar connective tissue. The main function of the fibrous pericardium is to protect the heart. Protect the heart. It helps in anchoring to the surrounding walls and prevents from overfilling with blood. So the main function is protection, and it is continuous with the outer adventitial layer of the neighboring great vessels. We just discussed the fibrous pericardium. This is a diagram from your book. We can see the two layers. Yes, the fibrous pericardium, the parietal layer and the visceral layer. And then we have the heart muscle, that is the myocardium. And between the parietal and the visceral layer is the cavity. Which cavity we are talking about is the pericardial cavity. And the heart rests on diaphragm. Okay. Now, how this pericardium is formed around the heart? This is the developing heart. Here is the pericardial cavity, and you can see a slight indentation, or the heart is growing. This is a growing heart. Heart is growing, and the whole pericardium is just covering the heart. And the two layers which are formed which are just near to the heart is the visceral pericardium, and outer one is the parietal pericardium, and in between it we have the pericardial cavity. Now, what is the applied anatomy of this pericardium? First of all, there can be inflammation, and this inflammation is known as pericarditis. It can be due to viral or bacterial infections. There can be effusion, that is whenever there is excessive fluid. Remember we studied about pleural effusion. Likewise, you also have pericardial effusion, when pericardial cavity is filled with excessive fluid. Then there is one procedure that is known as pericardiocentesis or paracentesis. It is also known as pericardial tap. It is a procedure in which a needle is inserted, and it removes the fluid from the pericardium. And then the fluid is further tested for signs of infection. If there is infection, what is the cause of infection, or what is the cause of inflammation, and if there is presence of blood or cancer. So this is the pericardium, which is surrounding the heart. Okay, and you can see over here there can be buildup of fluid. So what will happen if there's buildup of fluid? It can affect the heart's contractility because the pressure is created. That happens in the pericardial effusion. So the needle is inserted and this pericardial tap is done and the fluid is aspirated. Okay, if I ask you the thickness of muscular walls of right ventricle and left ventricle, so can you tell me which one is thicker? Yes, left ventricle is thicker. Why? Because it has to force blood out against more resistance. Okay, and atria are thin because ventricular filling is done by gravity. So the atrial effort is less. So if you compare the walls of the left ventricle, it is comparatively thicker as compared to the wall of the right ventricle. That's all for now. We'll have the second lecture later. Thank you so much.